Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be doing a video that is dedicated to my picks for this record store day. And when I say this record store day, I'm talking about July's installment. There was a one that was done in June and I made a video for that, so please check that out before you watch this one, just so there's a bit continuity. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. Before I say that actually though, I want to say I would have assumed that because, it's been split up into two, because of good old COVID, bad old COVID, arsehole COVID, sorry, you'd assume that the first drop would be probably the best and they're just kind of chucking all the weakest stuff on this one, but I've actually picked up more this time than the previous one. Just more things have piqued my interest, obviously. So, yeah, let's show them. While I'm doing that, I want to quickly show these two Joe Jackson records that I got on top of these while I was out and about. And also, I've got a record which was actually in June's instalment. And I picked it up now because there was one particular record store that I ventured into that said that not only was selling, obviously, record store day stuff released today, but we're doing a deal for today only where we're slashing 25% off of June's releases that are still available. So I happened to see a one that was something I wanted to pick up before, and that is Opeth's album Morning Rise. I've always wanted to listen to this because I know not only is it a seminal record by the metal group, but also I've always loved this album cover, and it's great to see it up and close in all its 12-inch glory. And of course I want to listen to the music too, but I love the album cover. It's apparently on blue vinyl, so I can't wait to crack that open and give it a shot. And let's just get straight into what I've got for July. I want to tease you guys first off with just a single for now. The rest are full albums. And this single is not just any old single, but it's actually, well, it actually says on the front, a Northern Soul classic. This is by a group called the Flirtations, and this is with the A side Need Your Lovin', but they're actually renowned for the B side on here called Nothing But a Heartache. Very interesting. The actual record, I'm saying as a single, is actually really heavy, so despite it not really being too flashy, obviously trying to make it look as authentic as the original pressing could be, it's actually really nice and heavy, and it's all you can really ask. I hope the sound quality is good, that's the main thing of course, but really nice to own this. And speaking of soul, our first album we're going to be talking about is an album by James Ray, and this is a gentleman who I was not aware of prior to scouring into what was Record Store Day's releases this month, but he really did pique my interest because I've heard that this gentleman was a great soul artist, and a very short-lived one too, because the man, I believe, died at the age of 22 or something, which is ridiculous. I think he died of a drug overdose, and only ever released one album, this one here. And why did I pick this up apart from knowing that it was supposed to be good? Well, there's actually a lot of affiliations to the Beatles. So how is it affiliated with the Beatles? Well, not only is it a case of If You Gotta Make a Fool of Somebody, a song on here that was apparently a very popular song that the Beatles used to play when they were in the Cavern Club, but there's also a song on here called I've Got My Mind Set on You. Yes, the George Harrison song. I was not aware at all that it was a cover, but it is, and I've listened to this, and it's fantastic. It rivals George Harrison's version at the least, and with George Harrison being my favourite Beatles member, I had to pick something up which is kind of related to him, and I really look forward to listening to the full thing. And allow me to pan the camera over to my desk and show you a bit more of what's inside. Take it away.
Oh, thank you, Eddie. Here is James Ray, looking very elegant and smart, sitting on a stool, smoking a cigarette, as you do. And at the back we've got all of the tracks and who wrote the songs, and of course a little biography that details a bit about James. I've opened the sale there, and when we're opening it up we're going to see that it's kind of trying to be a faithful recreation of how it would be if you bought it back in the 60s, no download code, and a very nice black thick jacket to hold it all together. But to make it a bit unique, instead of black, we've actually got a kind of baby blue, sort of slight teal colour to the record. So very nice overall.
So moving on, we've kind of got some similarities because even though this was released way later in 2006, these girls actually make music which is a throwback to 50s and 60s music, particularly girl group music. This is the Pipettes with We Are the Pipettes. And I listened to a few tracks on here, specifically a single which I really enjoyed called Pole Shapes. And from that, I really wanted to check this thing out. And there's not really much else I can say about it, but I really hope that the whole album is as good as that single. And there's got something inside here, particularly the look of the record itself, which you will enjoy.
So why is that? Well, before we get to it, I want to show the front and back. This is the singers of the group looking very snazzy in the polka dot dress. Oh dear, looks like one of them lost a shoe. Hopefully someone told them that's the back of the cover. Hopefully, or else we've got one lass walking around with one shoe. And we've got no download code again. I must sound really cheap. But never mind. We'll see that the sleeve itself is actually matching to the polka dot dress that they're wearing, which is really cool. And we've got a running theme too, because if you have a look, it's also polka dot. So it's like a picture disc, this record, which is really, really cool. And if I flip it over, you can see it's sort of inverted, which I really, really like. Only issue is, of course, it means that there's no side A or side B, and there's also no track listings that are written on the record itself, so you'll have to pay attention and follow the tracks by looking at the back of the cover, but very cool nonetheless.
So now we're going to get on to something which is a bit heavier, just a bit heavier, with Fallujah with the Harvest Wombs. These guys are a technical melodic death metal group, hailing from, I believe, America, and this is their debut album. They've released a handful of albums now, but for nearly a year now I've been obsessed with their second album, and I've been really meaning to try more releases by them, because even though they're obviously death metal, so it has a lot of mechanical and very obviously technically complex musicianship in it, they also blend a lot of melody in the music too, very sweet guitars in this, and I always enjoy death metal which has sort of melodic elements to it, so this was an easy pickup for me, to be honest. It was 10th anniversary as well, and let's have a look at the record inside.
Looking at the front here, you can see that this whole thing is very, very epic and gargantuan, and so is the back too, very much suiting the music. On the right hand side, it's quite hard to see, but you can see the track listings too, and I've actually opened the same on the top instead of the sides, because despite this being a single album, it's actually got a gatefold, which is a nice little touch. Open it up, we see yet more really cool futuristic dystopian looking cybernetic stuff. On the gatefold is written some lyrics too, which is cool, and opening it up we can see, go on, give it a shake, Eddie. It was quite hard to get out, that actually. Yes, giving it another shake because we're cheap and we're trying to see if there's a download code, but it's worth it in the end, because when I open it up I see it's pretty much my favourite colour, which is this gorgeous sort of burgundy, smoky burgundy colour, and I absolutely love that. You can see sort of slight black patterns in it as well, so overall a really nice package.
So we're going to calm things down a little bit, but we're going to still stick with darker sounds and territories with Richmond Fontaine with Post to Wire. Now this is again a gentleman who I was not aware of before looking up the list on Record Store Day, but I really wanted to check this out because this is apparently sort of dark sounding Americana and alternative country, and that's something that, even though I do enjoy and have dabbled into and tried artists that are kind of within that sound, it's something that I'm still a total novice with, so I was more than raring to listen to something to expand my knowledge with it. And I did sample a few songs on here, and particularly the title track like literally wowed us. I thought it just had this great kind of slightly gothic sound, and like I say, quite melancholic, but again obviously retaining that Americana vibe to it. And even though there was actually 2 albums by him that were released on Record Store Day, I could not for the life of us find the other one. So, oh well, maybe I could pick that up in the future or something. But I'm very happy to at least have picked up this one. So let's have a look inside.
Yes, let's. And the front, we have some slight writing up there in the top left, giving us a bit description. A bit of a spoiler what colour it's going to be, but never mind. Just a guy having a nice little chill outside in the desert. I have no idea what the hell that thing is, but I do know on the right hand side is the track listings. And we'll open this up and we'll see that it's a picture sleeve. We also see that Eddie is trying to be cheap once again and see if there's a download code. But we'll also see on top of that, but we've got all of the lyrics too on the picture sleeve, which is very nice. And we see some pictures on the picture sleeve too. Some interesting photos. I don't like the look of that guy in the centre. You can keep him away from us. Keep him away. Keep it away. Right, thank you. Didn't like that. But let's have a look and see what the colour is. Yes, as it said on the front, it is indeed white. So, quite nice indeed.
The next record falls into my favourite category of record store day releases, which are kind of forgotten artists and bands that, even though they retain a kind of underground cult following and bit popularity here and there in sort of early psychedelic, scenes and stuff like that. It's a big up yours basically to scalpers out there who, keep an original pressing and try and sell the original pressings for ludicrous prices. And with this, it falls into this category with the band Complex, with the album being called Complex as well. And this is something which I really, really enjoyed, and I've listened to pretty much half a dozen of the songs already on here, and it just totally fits the bill of the sort of psychedelic music that I enjoy, particularly with the organ. I really enjoy psychedelic music that has there's just something about the organ that really works with, that kind of the Doors sort of sound, and these guys really nail it. There's loads of great tracks on here. Green Eyed Lucy I really loved. Norwegian Butterfly I thought was great, and Witch's Spell so far has been my favourite that I've listened to, and I thought that was excellent, and I highly recommend that song at least. This record, talking about limited pressings and stuff like that, apparently there were only 99 pressings that were originally released of this record, which is mind-boggling, and you can just imagine yourself what scalpers are trying to charge for an original pressing of this record due to the limited pressings. And yeah, so let's have a look inside and see what's in. But you'll notice here that there's something which was added on to this record that I got that I nearly didn't notice.
You're going to notice that this is a very skeletal look, so the front and back, very, very minimalistic, which I suppose suits the music too. But I'm about to show you a piece of paper which was put in my bag, and this is why it's all scrumpled up, because I just thought it was just a list of something of record store day titles. That includes a biography and everything about them. Like I say, that wasn't included inside, as you can see. That is not me trying to look for a download code, I promise. And what we're going to see here though is a beautiful colour, and of course it's great not only because it suits the front cover, but it is orange. Gingers unite. So very, very nice. I'll enjoy that sort of colour and how it matches the front, like I say. And what I think I should do is I should put this record back, and also, because it should fit perfectly fine, I should put this included linear note inside the record too. I'm very, very careful, as you've noticed so far with my records. I like to keep everything pristine, so I'm just going to gently put this back and just try and keep it in as mint condition as possible. Very, very gentle, like I say. Lovely.
So now we're saving the best till last. I'd kind of done that last month with that epic Ailstorm record that I got, which was quite gorgeous, if I do say so myself, and you can have a look at that in that video and make your own opinion and judgment. And this is definitely saving the best till last, because these guys have kind of blew us away once again, and it's another group that I was not familiar with prior to this list. And this is something I really want to, drive home to you guys, which is, don't just stick to artists that you're already familiar with. Really spend the time, if you can, to look into all of these albums that you're just unfamiliar with, because that's again kind of the joy of record store day, like the whole enjoyment of collecting records and giving them to friends, sort of recommending them. I kind of treat it as record store day being that too. It's giving us recommendations. So yes, I've never heard of pretty much any of these artists and bands before, but because I've looked into it, I'm like, I think I'd enjoy this enough to actually buy a copy. And this is a good example, so this is a group called Chapter House, and this is called Roundabout. And this isn't really an album so much as a really huge 2.5 hour compilation. This is it here. Yes, it's got a nice little kitty cat. And this is a half best of, half sort of outtakes and just special demos and such like that. So it's a kind of a strange compilation, but the singles that are contained on this are fantastic, and especially I have to shout out to a song called Pearl. That kind of, again, wowed us, and I just really look forward to listening to this. It's a big mama, and you'll see that when I show you it right here.
Yes, that cat looks especially scared, almost like it's thinking, why the hell did you pay this much for this record? Yes, you can see there that it is numbered, so I've got number 999 out of 1500. Very simplistic at the back, but that is all of the tracks that is on this 4-disc set. So open the seal, and again, pretty simplistic, but we've got a nice little inclusion of nothing inside there. Again, no download code again, and there's the band. That guy at the front is pulling a face like everyone is probably pulling at home, thinking, are you seriously doing that stupid download code joke again? And there is a biography written all about the group. Very nice. And we want to know, obviously, what is the colour of the records. So there's 1, 2, 3, and there's one actually hiding on the third one there. So there's 4, and I'm going to show all of these here. All of them have this really nice, I think they call it marble colour. So it's kind of grey with black blotches inside of it. So very, very slightly they're different from each other, but all of them have this sort of same sort of colour template going on. But overall it's really nice, and again kind of matches the front cover too, with that sort of quite monochrome look to it. So overall, very happy with this, and I hope I'm very happy with the music too.
Let us know in the comments what you got for Record Store Day, and maybe there's ones out there that you wanted to pick up but you couldn't. Again, that's just all part and parcel and kind of the fun part of Record Store Day. So thanks again everybody for watching. Hope you're taking care of yourselves. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening.